that just, when Warren talks about where we are and that we are recovering, I mean, you'd have to extrapolate what you said to Ben Bernanke and the Fed, I guess, too, Warren. I mean, awfully stimulative at the Federal Reserve, and I guess I would, just reading between the lines of what you said, I guess you'd wonder whether they need to be quite as free and easy right now, too.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, Joe, because we're running, we'll say, very roughly $1 trillion deficit, and the Fed is buying roughly $1 trillion worth of, and not necessarily government bonds, but mortgages, but government-issued paper, or what's regarded as government paper. And so, in effect, they are picking up our deficit and creating bank reserves with the money. And you might say, you look at that and you say, well, this is wonderful. You might say, why don't you have them buy 3.6 trillion of government paper every year, and then there wouldn't be any necessary, you wouldn't have to have any taxes, and the Treasury would be running or the Fed would be running a huge profit. Then they're running about 80 billion a year now, but now they'd have this wonderful carry. You know, that 3 trillion of assets that they have are financed about a little over $1 trillion by currency in circulation. Well, that doesn't cost them anything except the cost of the paper. And then they've got a couple trillion or close to it of bank reserves, which cost them 0.25%. So basically, you know, I'm jealous of the Fed. I'd like to have a machine like that myself, but it doesn't cost them anything. So if they can do $1 trillion this way, why not do $3.5 trillion, and then we wouldn't have to have any taxes at all.
You're being facetious for anybody who may not be picking up on this.
Yeah, no, I am being facetious, believe me. But it's something that can't go on, and if it was this easy, you know, we would have been doing it centuries ago. And I've got enormous respect for Chairman Bernanke. I think what he did in the fall of 2008 saved this country. But I think it'll be interesting when they get to the unwinding stage of a balance sheet. It's usually a lot easier to buy things than to sell things. I've found that in my own job.
I guess.